3, 2, 1, go!
Now go home and get your shine box.
Hey, good evening and welcome back, everybody, to Go Get Your Shine Box. This is Jim, your host, and I'm with Joe and Paul. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. We are back from vacation. We just came back from a couple of sorties over Ukraine, giving them the what for. Time for these boys to give it up.
Yeah. I should play the Russian national anthem now.
That's right.
I stand with Ukraine.
Then you stand with corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's we'll get to it.
That's generally the idea, huh?
Well, you know what the problem is? This is an audio show right now, and we really can't have any visuals. But if you just picture it. Anyway, welcome everybody listening. We just got a couple of things to go over real quick. We congratulations to us. We broke 1,000 downloads, which is huge.
Woo-hoo!
You know, huge for us. We need a cheering section.
John Malkovich.
Yeah, we also had the wish list out there from Buy Me a Coffee, and our wish list managed to reach our funding level. In turn, we were able to get a really cool Tascam Mixcast 4, which is it's a pretty decent
thing with a lot of lights and buttons on it.
There's a lot of buttons and things on it.
There's a bunch of crap on it. So after it's all said and done, we might not get any sound at all. But we'll find out. So anyway, so with that being said, tonight's episode we're calling Utopia or Udopia. Idiocracy 2.0.
Yes, we're going to have to do a poll. I wonder if we can put a poll in one of these things and see what people think we're currently living in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, you can get right on that poll. Set that poll up.
With no further ado.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. Most science fiction of the day predicted a future that was more civilized and more intelligent. But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
If anybody didn't recognize that, that's actually from the movie Idiocracy, which is kind of interesting. And that's kind of what our theme's about tonight. And let me read a quick def here. This is an actual dictionary definition of utopia. Utopia typically describes an imaginary community or society that possesses highly desirable or nearly perfect qualities for its members. It was coined by Sir Thomas More for his 1516 book, Utopia. Imagine that. Describing a fictional island society in the New World. However, it may also denote an intentional community. So if you haven't guessed, the left is all about the utopia. And they've been doing everything they can in their power ever since I can remember to reach such a level.
Did you say 1516?
I did. I said 1516.
Wow.
I'm not sure when he was knighted, but in 1516 he was Sir Thomas More.
Well, going along with the utopia theme there, I have a short couple of paragraphs from PubMed Central. Very, well-respected medical journal. Repeats here, in a 1962 edition of Scientific American, the ecologist John B. Calhoun presented the results of a macabre series of experiments conducted at the National Institute of Mental Health That's offshoot of Fauci's place there.
Taylor Fauci.
He had placed several rats in a laboratory in a converted barn where, protected from disease and predation and supplied with food, water, and bedding, they bred rapidly. The one thing they were lacking was space, a fact that became increasingly problematic, as what he liked to describe as his, quote, rat city and, quote, rodent utopia teemed with animals.
That's great.
Interesting.
Unwanted social contact occurred with increasing frequency, leading to increased stress and aggression. Following the work of the physiologist Hans Selye, it seemed that the adrenal system offered the standard binary solution, fight or flight. But in the sealed enclosure, flight was impossible. Violence quickly spiraled out of control. Cannibalism and infanticide followed. Males became hypersexual, pansexual, and an increasing proportion homosexual. Calhoun called this vortex, quote, a behavioral sink. Their numbers fell into terminal decline, and the population tailed off to extinction. At the experiment's end, the only animals still alive had survived at an immense psychological cost. Asexual and utterly withdrawn, they clustered in a vacant, huddled mass. Even when reintroduced to normal rodent communities, these, quote, socially autistic animals remained isolated until death. In the words of one of Calhoun's collaborators, rodent, quote, utopia had descended into hell.
Isn't that something?
Now,
that looks like exactly where the Democrats are headed. Not soon enough.
Kind of looks like the West, I shall say specifically, as far as the like even the intro talked about increased breeding. That's not the West. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say where the idiocrats are breeding like rabbits.
Well, you know what? We don't have to get specific, but we do have to remember that the utopia is this fantasy, okay, fiction, if you will. The left likes to fixate on fiction, as being liars. They fixated on this original idea from 1516, and like they did with 1984, most people look at that as a novel. They look at it as a handbook. Not to mention the vast amounts of legislative activities that they took from Nazi Germany that you can overlay on today's democratic, formats and see some similarities. They're striving for this utopia that doesn't exist, and what you just read is what we're getting. Not that we want to call anybody rats, but I mean, let's face it. Some of the lowest common denominator out there. That's what it's like.
Well, that's the thing.
I think that you can call like Chucky Schumer a rat. There's a lot of them you can call rats. So
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Mitch just fell. Ironically, he fell in a Waldorf Astoria that used to be the Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in DC, and he's in the hospital now. This just in.
I kept seeing these turtle memes, like turtles falling over.
Yeah.
And I was like, something happened and I missed it,
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah. He's going to, Mitch is going to come out of the hospital with a boot on, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of rats that after they heard, Tucker expose some of the lies, just turn on him.
Oh my God, scurrying.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do an episode on that.
Yeah. We're I have already taken notes.
Okay.
So
since since we're off topic, I might as well just throw this in there.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you see?
why not?
Yeah, why not? Did you see that the what was it? The International Woman Award was given to Guy,
Well, that's
a man.
more of the idiocracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does flag, and just like the her she bar, it's stupid.
Well, it seems that men can be better at being women than women can. So I don't know, you know.
Well, and here's the thing that I tend to push back with. You know, these rats didn't become stupid. Something else happened to them psychologically.
Well, there's outside influences, for sure.
And
Right.
that's what I think is happening now.
You know what? Go ahead, Paul. I was going to finish up.
That's all right.
I know this could easily be a talk topic, but I want to interject some clips because I think it's not only important that we point out the idiocracy that's now a good portion of the left, but also the cabinet itself that we're going to have to dig deeper into a little bit here. And I just have to play because this is, I mean, if I don't have any cringe Jean-Pierre, Hank Johnson has to be one of my favorites. And this gives you an idea of
Hank Johnson. He sounds like a black guy.
Well, you'll know once we play it. And this is no pun intended, but this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the leadership on the left.
This is a island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And
sort of
I
shaped
don't
like
know
an
how many
ice cream
square
cone.
miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a
Let's
lot
go
of
break
sense.
something.
Okay, now this is before the
What
United
a
States
fool.
lost another 5 IQ points through immigration. Just saying.
Well, it's funny. I'm sorry. I could
This
play
guy's a
laugh
United
track.
States senator, right?
That there, Hank Johnson. Okay,
I know who it is.
Yeah, that Hank Johnson. And there was another clip where he did something about pinning something on somebody.
Yeah,
We did a
I
little.
think he was a representative, not a senator.
Yeah. Correction. We stand
not
corrected.
that really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, never mind then.
Is that what do they call that? A separation without a distinction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In 2020, Brett Martin, he put out a piece which is kind of neat. And this is the community. He is a community columnist for news media, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it needs to be said that for decades, people were getting smarter, and this has to do with IQ. People were getting smarter as measured by their IQ, which I don't even think we do anymore. This was known as the Flynn effect. It was named after a researcher who discovered that the average IQ scores had been rising about 3 points per decade since World War II. That changed with people now in their 40s. So the people now in their 40s is on a decline. So the drop in IQ is generally thought to have begun with those born in the mid-70s and has not reversed itself. Research shows the IQ scores of young people are now dropping by 7 points every generation. 7 points is a lot, especially when the average IQ score in the United States is 98. Okay.
Yeah, it makes a difference, and it has nothing to do with decades or whatever age. It has to do with black and brown people.
Now, what do you think that moron's IQ was?
Well, according to World Population Review, Singapore and Hong Kong have the highest IQ score averages of 108. And this is just for people who don't think this was 300 people that were polled. This is an analysis of 730,000 IQ tests by researchers in Norway a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we're well aware of the IQ thing. Anybody who's ever put scientific IQ papers, put them forward, has been destroyed because it shows what it shows.
Well, let me go on to say, adding to the problem of dropping intelligence levels is the fact that people who are not very smart actually think they are. Okay,
I come across that like daily. I come across those people. I see those people and work with them on a daily basis.
And that's the exact thing that's leading us to where we are now. We all know people who fit that description. That's what the writer goes on to say, knowing that as the Dunning-Kruger effect is what that is, or if you slur your words, the dumbing down effect, named after a psychiatrist who documented it in scientific speak. It's a cognitive bias that causes people to overestimate their knowledge or ability. Does Hank Johnson come to mind?
Yes, and Hank Johnson would be at the peak of what's called Mount Stupid. If you look at
Dr. Thompson, in your professional analysis, what do you think that his IQ is?
Hank Johnson?
Yes,
well,
Hank Johnson.
Going by the average Black American is about 83.
Right.
The Black American IQ average is about 83. So half of them less, half of them more. Hank Johnson, I got no reason to believe he's a standout in his community. So let's just put it that way. And 83 IQ is barely able to read instructions and do simple tasks.
Well, an average American IQ at 93 isn't exactly stellar.
No, Black American.
Yeah, no,
83.
I get that. But we have to.
Average American is 98.
We have to have because they're part of the country. We have to add them at the total
right.
level.
Well, without Black and brown people, we'd be 103, 104 maybe.
What the frick?
Don't be stupid, even in the short term.
Yeah, it's just. I probably should have saved him for last. But I think I'm still laughing.
And they don't test it like you said. The last testing of it, and I just found this out 5 or 6 years ago, where I found out that I was smart, believe it or not. In our day, when they did like PSATs and SATs, you can convert that to an IQ score. So I'm a 146, which is pretty damn good. That's like one in.
How do you calculate that?
If you can find your score, you can go online and find out.
Yeah,
I scored I think I scored like a little better than a 1500 on my SAT.
So that's in line with what I would suggest.
And
so you're probably
mind,
even higher than me.
Those scores, the 1600 score is old. That's the old method. Now these kids nowadays don't know what that is.
Right. That's what I was getting at. In the early 90s, I think, or mid 90s, they changed it, and you can't correlate the two anymore.
And I'm not gonna spit out what is. I actually took an actual IQ test. I don't know how many years ago it was, but it suffices to say I'm not acting like I'm smarter than I actually am. So we'll leave it at that.
Alrighty then.
We'll leave a little mystery there. But and Paul, when I play this next clip, just
shut up.
Yeah, as soon as I play it, you're gonna know what I mean. Okay.
Okay. All right, Paul. Put your finger on the mute button.
Wait. I got a new button just for you. So, and if it gets really out of hand,
I need some coffee anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need coffee. Yeah, you definitely need some coffee. But anyway, check this out. This was a nominee. Come on, guys. I'm gonna have to. I'm sniffling. My eyes are watering.
Do you got any elevator music or something? Yeah,
I got a little something to calm us down, maybe. But anyway, this This next one is kind of funny because I don't know. I should. No, I'm not going there. This is the nominee.
Wait, was that Russian music?
Yeah, it was the Russian. So no, it wasn't the Russian. It was the Soviet national anthem. But
Okay.
anyway, apparently there's a difference. This is the. Okay, this is going to be a laugh track.
All
the
right.
nominee to
Now I'm
lead the
gonna cause some
FAA.
trouble.
And Joe, this is going to be right up your alley. This is the nominee
Oh, geez.
to lead the
Oh
FAA.
God, go ahead. I heard it.
It's a little bit, yeah.
Did you see the interview?
Yeah, I got to stop laughing.
He's got a pretty good tan going too. That FAA guy.
I'm gonna mute myself while I play this. The clip's a little longer than normal, but it's precious. It really is. So it's a back and forth.
So, Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADSB?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Not sure I can answer that question right now.
But another question. You've said that your national security background, and again, it's okay. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay, we'll just keep going. So thank you.
Sure.
Through the introduction of the Sport Pilot Certificate and also Basic Med, it's been a great success. So what are the limit? It comes with some limitations. So what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under Basic Med?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator. I'm not a pilot, so.
But obviously, you'd oversee the Federal Aviation Administration. So, any idea what those restrictions are under Basic Med? Quickly.
Well, some of the restrictions I think would be high blood pressure. Some of them would be.
It's more like how many passengers per airplane, how many pounds in different categories, and what altitude you can fly under. So, and then. Amount of knots, it's under 250 knots. So it's not having anything to do with blood pressure. So stall spin accidents are a particular concern for general aviation safety advocates. Accidents involving an unintentional stall account for nearly 25% of fatal aviation accidents. And these happen at spins at low speed and low altitude, and they're particularly dangerous. Can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot, but I would lean on our career employees and our safety folks within the FAA.
So in other words, he doesn't want to do anything, and he wants to just sit there and collect the paycheck and have everybody else do everything for him. He's not needed.
No, he's there for a reason. Of course he's
because he's black. He's there because he's black.
Right, and he's there to institute more of this diversity and inclusion crap, and to bring us to the full idiocracy.
He's obviously qualified to run the FAA. He's not even a pilot.
Come on.
He doesn't even, the most stupid things. He doesn't know what airspace, he doesn't know airspaces. He doesn't know medicals.
I'm not a pilot, and I know what the med, the combined, I can't now.
Yeah.
Well, how does an airplane stall and spin?
Loses lift. Anyway, look at Mayor Pete. Yeah. He is our transportation secretary. It's like they're doing this on purpose. I would think they're doing this on purpose to rub it in our face, but they believe in this.
Well, listen, here's a couple of key cabinet members. I'm sorry out there. I didn't think it was going to get. This is so dumb. This content is so dumb, and it's here to portray how dumb the people that are running this country are right now. We're talking about Mayor Pete. How about Merrick Garland? Merrick Garland. The one that sent out a memo to make parents that spoke up at board meetings domestic terrorists, and sick the FBI on him. This guy he's a stand-up clown.
And then completely deny and lie and say that they never did that.
How about Deb Haaland, the Secretary of Interior, that said if Trump did it, it must be bad. That's how she bases her entire existence. Or
Orange Man bad.
Yeah, Orange Man. Or how about Tom Vislick, Secretary of Agriculture? Well, I would rather transfer tax, which would be used as high as 43.4% is the worst idea that's been proposed in terms of impact on agriculture in my life. This guy is a whack job. Or Gina Raimondo, Secretary of Commerce, who checks boxes. What's her favorite quote? If American businesses are going to compete, we need these investments. And then the question is, how do we pay for them? And she has no clue. Marty Walsh, Xavier Becerra, the Secretary of Health and Human Services. These people are absolutely useless. Pete Buttigieg, who used to be known as Pothole Pete because he couldn't run a little city as a mayor.
Yeah.
And it goes on. And Dr. Michael Cordona, Secretary of Education. And what about Treasury? What's her name?
Yellen.
Yellen. Benny Hill's sister. Who knew?
I think Janet Yellen, I don't think is stupid. She's just corrupt. She may not be the sharpest knife, but I think she's just corrupt. And she's a woman. She got no business being there in the first place.
Oops, sorry, I was a little late on that. But yeah, the list of idiots goes on and on and on. I'm sorry, I don't know about Yellen. I'm not convinced she's that bright.
It's hard to tell.
But I want to be a little materialistic. Okay, the woman's worth millions, and I don't know how much. I don't have to say how much she's worth. If she's working in the White House, she's worth millions. We already know that. If you were a bum and looking for quarters, and you got a job in the White House, 6 months later you're a millionaire. That's our idiocracy. That's our corrupt system. Okay, so the woman can't afford a haircut. Apparently.
Well, here's the thing: she's like 80 years old. So she went through university when they at least taught you something, all right? Whether she's probably still when did affirmative action start? After the whole ridiculous civil rights crap,
68-ish, something like that, or a little before that.
She might have got in. She might have got in on that, or she might have been a little bit early. I think she might have been a little bit before that, but she's not a full-on Pete Buttigieg or these other tan members.
You're right. She probably doesn't check as many boxes,
but she does. She's glommed on to the ideology, this woke,
and she doesn't believe any of it. She's just there for the freaking paycheck. I don't think
I don't even know anymore.
Unless she was a card carrying member of the underground weathermen or whatever years ago. But I don't think most of people believe anything.
Yellen, what's her Yellen? What's her
Janet, right? Is it Janet? Yeah.
What's her sort of pedigree? Shall we say?
But anyway, I'm kind of working up the ladder here, and I know this is clip central.
Working up the ladder, I think we're going down the slide.
It's funny because working up the ladder, they get dumber. That's the whole
for the president, right?
Well, he'll be the grand finale. But that's the show here tonight, people.
Yes.
They're striving for this utopia, and we're obviously sitting in a Udopia. There's nothing but a bunch of freaking morons running the place. There's crime is off the hook. There's legalized freaking pin galleries. You can go shoot up in the privacy of your own heroin hut in some of these inner cities, and it just goes on and on and on and on, and it keeps coming back and slapping us. And I don't know which. Maybe it's the rank and file that are sitting there collecting their checks every month on their Obama phones. With their cash for clunkers, still hoping that they're gonna wake up one day and the roads are gonna be paved with gold instead of human feces. So maybe that's what it's all about.
I've given you my my prediction, and that is that we're finished. This doesn't get fixed without what I call rivers of blood.
Well, you know what?
So
I got a clip here, and she's gonna fix. If she can't fix it, nobody can fix it.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia.
We campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P. The plan.
Do you plan to visit the border?
Not today, but I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
I've said I'm going to go to the border. And
When are you going to the border, Vice
the
President?
administration has asked. I'm not finished.
We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
And I'm being clear with you right now.
Yes, okay.
And so if you're interested, I'll continue to be clear.
There are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. It is time for us to do what we
You're
have been
killing me
doing,
here,
and
you
that
know.
time is every day. We are doing it.
For sure, we've done it soon.
We are doing it.
What do you see as the biggest national security challenge confronting the U.S.? What is the thing that worries you and keeps you up at night?
Frankly, one of them is our democracy.
You don't feel misused or underused?
No, I don't. When folks vote,
Somebody hand me a fork so I can shove it in my eye.
I thought you were warming up to this girl.
I went off script a little bit.
I know it was painful, but she's the vice president.
Oh my God! I
our
was like,
great United
when were you going to stop that?
The hits just keep on coming. So, oh my gosh, and we're laughing, and it's nothing to laugh at. You know what's really sad? She isn't laughing. Putin isn't laughing. Rocket Man probably isn't laughing. For crying out loud, Rocket Man's got his daughter about ready to take over a nuclear missile communist country, and this is what we have.
She is one harsh looking lady.
Oh my God,
man,
this is absolutely out of hand. It's really out of hand.
Yeah, and as the world is as we knew it is done. They are not going to be able to recover it, even if Trump gets in 2024. Russia and China are peeling off enough of the rest of the world population to where we will never be what we were. Before it was like, President of the United States, the leader of the world, that's gone. And all it took was bringing in a black man to finish us off. Biden is just continuing that.
Yeah, and 81 million votes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Obama, obviously.
Yeah, no, I know. I meant afterwards. Yeah.
This is just an extension of his
third
original
term,
destruction of this country. So now, we do worldwide apology tours for being America. That's what Obama did. And that was the beginning of the end. And we're just, all his people are just sticking the stake in our hearts, So we'll still be
a good time to talk about the newest endeavor, I guess you can call it.
We have a new endeavor
called buymeacoffee.com. So we signed up for buymeacoffee.com, and you can actually go on there and donate or a quick amount, or you can subscribe for a certain amount. We have different levels out there. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/shinebox, and you can find it there. Also embedded the button on the website, so you can just hit that up either on your phone or on your computer, and just smash that button. That's at 10mmm.org. Also, obviously, I'm going to link all the links to the content in the description of all our podcasts, including Rumble and on YouTube, if we continue to use them. And of course, shineboxcontact@gmail.com is our direct email address. Here's another one that's out there on a link, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's the Twitter handle. It's at frickin' Shinebox, and that's going to be spelt a little different. FRIKKEN Shinebox, at frickin' Shinebox. So check those out when you get a chance. And as always, they're in the descriptions of all our podcasts that we release. Well, yeah, sorry for the cold cut.
That sounded like a paid promotion. Includes paid promotion.
Still getting used to the equipment. That's what she said. Anyway, so, but it's
getting back to Idiocracy. If you've seen the movie, you'll get a good laugh of the buildings bending over and the mountains of garbage, and going to the hospital, and you got the retard behind the desk, and you got like pictograms.
And the inmate that got the highest IQ and got the job as president.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So somebody knew what they were talking about when they wrote this movie. This was, by the way, this is written by the same guy who does Beavis and Butthead. So,
is it really?
Yeah, Mike Judge. It certainly is.
Oh,
so
that's interesting. I don't do Beavis and Butthead. So I don't know that,
come on now. You know, they banned. I like Beavis and Butthead because they were banned because it's a cartoon and some kids were actually doing what they saw in the cartoon. So they said, "Ooh, bad."
Yeah.
Our kids are doing what a cartoon said, and so instead of smacking the parents, they took the cartoon off the air. And then when it came back on, they put a warning on it. They're like, "Hey, mom and dad, this is a cartoon. Don't let your kids watch it because it's made for adults." You know. So anyway, and look, if you think about it, we've only seen this idiocracy crap going on for the past few years, 6 or 7 years, big time. But it's been going on since I was a kid. It's been sneaking up on us because there's no way these people can hold this out in front of you all at once and say, "Hey, here it is." No, it's got to like I read. We have to drop IQ points by the decade, and then all of a sudden, you have inner cities that have the same tenets as a plantation slavery. They're impoverished. They're violent. They're broken families. They're poor. And
they're sucking up education dollars, and they're pumping out, 1% graduates. You know what I mean? And it was Maryland is putting a bill forward. Did you see this one? They're no longer going to charge anybody under 25 with felonies for murder and stuff because, quote, their brains aren't fully formed yet.
Yeah. But you can get sex change therapy when you're 12.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wrong there.
That's the religion, That's.
Yeah. Well, let me play the last clip, which is our fearless leader in chief, and then we'll do a little discussion and we'll close her out.
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer, and why for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was excuse me.
There you go. A single word. And this isn't when he was half as bad as he is now.
Yeah. So. 2 words. Made in America.
Yeah. You can't make this stuff up.
The whole thing is a joke, and we got to sit here and pretend that this is some kind of legitimate government. Otherwise, the FBI comes after you.
In all its glory. Yeah, and whatever you do, if you're a pastor, don't pray around an abortion clinic and then defend your 10-year-old son.
Yeah.
Or the FBI will raid you at 6:30 in the morning with 20 SWAT team members.
Is that the one that I saw the other day with the dorks?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's just sad. And Joe was leading into next week when we delve more into these releases. They're going to be trickling out like to the Twitter files, and hopefully Tucker's going to keep pushing them out.
Keep at it.
The actual footage.
McCarthy said he's going to release it. At least I saw this report that McCarthy said this, that he's going to release all of it full public.
Yeah.
So
they should,
Yes, absolutely.
The funny part is, it's kind of a teaser, but the people that are guilty are doubling down on the lies.
Yeah, and all these people screaming like CNN, blah blah blah. None of them have called to ask for copies of this footage. Isn't that odd?
Yeah. Wonder why. That's the way it goes. Welcome to Udopia.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next week.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.